Good morning, Chair Hudson, and members of the board. We are now recording.
Good morning, everyone. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is now called to order at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, May 1st. Please note, even if you are able to hear me now, we do have Spanish interpretation during the meeting, and regardless of whether your preferred language is English or Spanish, in order to have optimum audio quality, please click the interpretation button and click either English or Spanish in order to ensure you're able to hear us throughout the meeting. And I will pause a moment so that message can be relayed in Spanish.
Buenos días y gracias por acompañarnos hoy en nuestra junta. Ahora tenemos servicio de interpretación por medio de Zoom. En su pantalla, vaya hacia el abajo a la derecha, hay un glóbulo en donde pueden elegir su idioma de inglés o español. Aunque vayan a escuchar en inglés, por favor, elija el idioma que nos va a permitir escuchar nuestra junta. Gracias.
Thank you, Santiago. One moment, please. Just confirming. Do we need to vote on Board Member Broad's reasonable accommodation again, I believe? Okay. I make a motion to excuse Board Member Broad due to a reasonable accommodation for medical reasons and have him count towards the quorum for today's meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Member Lightstone. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. I will now call the roll. Board Member Broad.
Present.
Board Member Flores.
Present.
Board Member Hall.
Present.
Board Member Lightstone.
Present.
Thank you. Our first agenda item is to approve the most recent meeting minutes from April 29th, whopping 2 days ago. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And Member Hall seconds. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The meeting minutes from April 29th have been approved. For the next agenda item, I do not have any update on the chair's report. Oh, actually, I take that back. I do have one update. I'm excited to share that several of us, including the General Counsel and our communications and outreach team, will be meeting with the Sacramento-based Center for Workers' Rights next week. This follows several discussions that we have had with them, particularly within the forum convened by the Mexican consulate here in Sacramento to have a quarterly roundtable with labor entities to discuss how we can better partner across international, local, state, and federal government, as well as with community partners to better serve the farm worker population. Specifically, we are hoping to discuss, or we are wanting to have further discussion with them on how to better serve cannabis cultivation workers. They serve a variety of counties here in the Sacramento area, so Sacramento, Yolo, San Joaquin, Sutter, El Dorado, and a few others, and they have had more success, I think, with reaching cannabis cultivators. There's quite a few indoor cultivation work sites here in this area, and so we're hoping to partner with them on that, and then they in turn are looking to really expand their presence with Know Your Rights presentations for farm workers in this area, where there's not tended to be as many organizations as maybe in other agricultural areas in California. So we're really excited to have that dialogue with them and see how we can partner and maximize our resources. And this is the same organization that I believe our general counsel consulted with them or kind of worked with them in their founding prior to her role at the ALRB, and they honored, I'm so used to looking at Barry over here, they honored Board Member Broad last year as a legislative champion for all his work that he's done. So we're very excited to have that discussion with them. And that concludes the chair's report. Next is the executive officer's report on on elections, unfair labor practice charges, and other case-related matters.
Thank you, Chair Hasid, and I'm just going to excellent, the interpreter can hear me, so let me pull up my report, which will be available on our website if it's not already there, under the Meetings tab. For today's report, since the board's last public meeting on April 17th, there's been one consolidated complaint and filed in Wonderful Nurseries, LLC 2024-CE-013 et al., and that's was filed by the General Counsel on April 22nd. Following with a complaint that settled in True North Farming Company, LLC, involving the commodity of strawberries in Ventura County. That matter was set to go to hearing on Tuesday, April 30th. However, on Friday, April 26th, the General Counsel advised that they were close to finalizing settlement. At this time, we are awaiting the signed agreement or a motion to take off calendar. Turning to administrative orders issued since April 17th, the board issued Admin Order 2024-09 on April 18th, and that was at Hosai Guy Farms, Inc. That's a majority support petition matter, and the board set for hearing certain objections and dismissed others, detailed in my report. Next is the Admin Order 2024-10, issued also on April 18th, and they're in Wonderful Nurseries, LLC. Also, the majority support petition matter, the board denied the UFW's request to stay the administrative order to consider opposition, denied petitioner's motion for reconsideration, denied General Counsel's motion for reconsideration, and granted reconsideration sua sponte regarding unfair labor practice charges that had been set in abeyance. Finally, Admin Order number 2024-11, that issued April 30th, yesterday, involving also Wonderful Nurseries of the order denying General Counsel's motion to consolidate ULP consolidated complaint with the objections hearing or participate at hearing to develop record. Turning to pending matters, we have DMB Packing Corp. Doing business as a Damari Company. This is the first majority support petition filed during 2023. The ALJ decision issued on March 18th. Exceptions were filed April 8th, and replies to those exceptions were filed April 29th, and the briefing is now complete in that matter. Next is Wonderful Nurseries, LLC, 2024 RM002. There is a application for special permission to appeal an order denying intervenor status. That special appeal was filed on April 26th, and an opposition or response is due on or before Friday, May 3rd. Also, Wonderful Nurseries, which will require an amendment to my report. This morning, the UFW filed a motion for reconsideration based on the failure of yours truly to forward a motion that was filed on April 29th. That will be added to my report, and the board has now received that motion as well as the request for reconsideration. By the United Farm Workers of America and Monterey Mushrooms, LLC, 2019 CL005 SAL et al. And there's an application for special permission to appeal a CMC order ordering to hold the hearing virtually, which was filed on April 15th. The application for special permission was filed on April 15th. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. Okay, our next agenda item is the litigation report, and we do not have any updates there. So next we'll turn to the General Counsel's report with General Counsel Julie Montgomery. Julie.
Good morning. board chair and members. I have a very brief report today. Although the executive secretary did mention that we settled a case on the eve of hearing, almost literally, that agreement is still being, the written agreement is being finalized. So I will hold off reporting on that one until such time as it's completely finished. But I do have a few outreach events to highlight that our staff has been covering. April 19th, our staff presented at a farm worker conference hosted by Comité Cívico del Valle in Brawley, the city of Brawley in Imperial County, which I'll just mention. I mean, that's a very remote, pretty remote area. And so I think it's really good that we got some folks out there to have a presence in that area. They've also were present at a farm worker resource fair in Riverbank, hosted by the Central Valley Opportunity Center and Farm Worker Resource Center program in Stanislaus County. That's another area where it's pretty remote and we don't have any offices nearby that area, but we have been really trying to increase our collaborations with different groups in the Northern Central Valley. And we had staff doing office hours in Santa Maria at the cause office to be accessible to workers in that area. We also had staff providing office hours in Santa Paula, which is in eastern, more rural Ventura County. That's hosted by a group called Poder Popular out there. We had staff participate in a task force meeting with the advocacy group called CAMPO, which is Campesinos and Agency Mobilizing Policy Opportunities. One staff member did a training, or a couple of staff members did a training presentation at the monthly Mecca Farm Worker Service Provider meeting at the Mecca Farm Worker Resource Center, again, a more outlying area of, I guess, Riverside County and near our Indio office. And then finally, we had staff provide a Spanish radio interview on Dignidad y Justicia, which is a program hosted by Radio Indigena 94.1 FM. And that was in Oxnard in Ventura County. So there's some other events too that I'm not mentioning here, but just to give you a little flavor of what they've been doing, going out and trying to reach some of these more outlying areas that we don't traditionally get people coming into our office from because of the geographic challenges. And beyond that, everyone's just been incredibly busy working on all of the casework. And again, I just want to give a shout out to our staff and the leadership in the regions and just all the incredible hard work they've been doing and the hours they've been putting in to really to help fulfill ALRV's mission. So thank you to all. And then if I have any questions, certainly feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Julie, and thank you to the staff. It was really interesting hearing about the Farm Worker Conference in Brawley and just how well attended it was, and it sounded very robust, and I really appreciate our staff taking the time to head out there. Next, we will not be having an administrative officer's report today, nor a regulations or legislative report. So we will now turn to public comment. For those that indicated ahead of the meeting that they wish to make public comment, the executive secretary will call on those members first. If you did not indicate you wish to make public comment, that's fine. You may still do so. And please let us know in one of several ways. You can use the raise hand feature in Zoom or message us in the chat. Please state your name and organization if applicable. We do ask that you not put substantive comments in the chat, just use it to indicate that you'd like to speak or if you're having technical difficulties. If you're having other issues communicating with us, you can also email Santiago, and his email address is located on our agenda. And then lastly, the board is not able to discuss or engage with any comments regarding any pending case matters. So with that, I will turn over to Santiago to see, do we have anyone in the queue for public comment?
Not at this time. I did not receive any emails, and Mr. Little just indicated he does not have comment today, and I believe he is a member of the public that's in the lobby, so if there's anyone else that wishes to make public comment, now's the time.
Okay, and with that, we will close public comment, seeing that no one wishes to make public comment, and the board will now recess into closed session at 10:15 a.m. Thank you.
Okay, we're back to recording.
All right, it is 12:18 p.m. and the board has returned from closed session. Our next agenda item is announcements. The board will be meeting next on May 8th, Thursday at 10 a.m. This is different than our normal meeting schedule in order to proceed with case matters. And with that, the meeting is now adjourned at 12:18 p.m. Thank you.